Howdy everyone, how y'all doing today? This is Norman McFadden. I'm gonna tell you a story today that my mama told me when I was just a little boy. Matter of fact, it was in 1964, and it comes out of the book Legends of Leaper Hollow 2. If you want to get it and read it, it's a good story. It's a story about my great grandma. And it was 1961. Oh, and school was out for the summer. And you know, when school's out for the summer, kids like getting out and playing. And here I was with my knees dug down into the couch looking out the window, 'cause it was pouring down rain. Like pouring it out of a bucket. So I couldn't get out and go out and play. And my brother David, he was there in the house too, and I knew he was going to do something to me before the day was over. And my sister Kathy was sitting on the floor playing with cut-out paper dolls. She cut them out of the old Sears and Roebuck magazine that was in our outhouse. And we didn't have fancy toilet paper. We had newspaper, and we had Sears and Roebuck catalog paper. So we'd have something to look at while we go to the bathroom, too. But get back to the story. It was pouring down rain. Mom come walking in out of the kitchen where she was getting ready to fry a chicken, and she said, "Kids, get on the couch and I'll tell you a story." So we all piled on the couch, and my brother David, he got right against me, and I knew he was going to be pinching me through the whole story. Anything to torment me, he would do. So Mom came in, and she said, "I was young when I got married." She said, "I was 15-year old, and your daddy, he was 21. And he still had some wild oats to throw, so when he got off work, he'd go out and get drunk and stay out all night. And here I am at 15-year-old, sitting in a boxcar, because that's what we lived in, a boxcar. That the railroad track dropped off 3 boxcars, and people started living in them. And I was one of the people that started living in them," she said. "No electric, no water, just a boxcar with a bed in it. And here I am, 15-year-old, waiting for my husband to come home, and he's out drunk. And I am 7 months pregnant." She said, "What would I do?" Yeah, I walked over to my mom and dad. It was about a mile walk, but it's better than sitting in that old trailer, that old boxcar, waiting for him to come home. And all of a sudden, I told you it was raining outside. The lightning hit the doggone on the electric pole and knocked our electric out. So Mom went and grabbed the flashlight and brought it in, and she shined it under her chin and made her face look real funny. And my brother David poked me one. He said, "Ooh, scary now. She gonna tell us a story about a ghost? And it no electric, and she got that. It's scary, huh? Yeah." Try to make me scared, you know. But she said, "I'll go on with the story." She said, "I went over my mom and dad's, and I'd sleep on the couch. I wasn't going to sit in that boxcar and wait for him to come home." And this night, she said, I went over there, and Grandma Brown, my mama's mom, she said, lived with them because she wasn't able to get around. She got up once in a while, not too much because she couldn't walk very well. She had a cane she walked with, and she'd put a bottle cap, soda bottle cap on the bottom of the cane, I guess, keep her from slipping. But when she walked across the wooden floor, you hear click, 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 click across the floor. You knew she was up. And my mom said I could sleep on the couch, she said. So I went in, did a waiting on your dad. I'd gonna crash on the couch and wait till he come pick me up. He'd know where I was. So Mom said she went and laid down on the couch, and she was laying there half asleep, and all of a sudden she heard this noise. Click, 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 click. And she knew it was Grandma up. And she said, wonder what she doing up in the middle of the night. And all of a sudden she seen a shadow above her. It was Grandma Brown. She reached down and rubbed my mama's stomach with her hand. She wasn't talking to Mom. Mom said, no, she wasn't talking to me. She was talking to the baby. She said, I gotta go on a journey, but I will come back to see you. Mom said the moment after she said that, you heard the click, 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 click of the cane, and she went out the door. She said she thought it was all a dream. So she just shut her eyes and went back to sleep. And the next morning, her mom came in and said, Alice, got something to tell you, sit up. She said she sat up. Her mom sat beside her and put her arm around her, and she said, last night, through the night, Grandma Brown passed away. Mom said, I seen her last night. She said, no, she didn't get up last night. She was pretty sick. She said, but the strangest thing of all, the cane she walked with is nowhere near her bed. It's gone. She's there, and she said, water. Looked like somebody walked through her bedroom with wet feet. And she said, we checked Grandma Brown's feet, and they was wet. Said, I don't know what happened to her, cane. I don't know why her feet was wet. And I don't know why the floor was wet. But she passed. And all of a sudden, so she was telling Mom that, Mom said a big knock came on the door. Donk, 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 donk. Knocking at the door really hard. So Grandma Lex and Mom's mom jumped up and grabbed the double barrel, went to the door. And it was my dad, coming home from his drunk and spell out all night. Hey, where's my wife? My grandma took the double barrel, pointed it right at his face, and says, you go home, you sleep it off. My mom just died last night. And your wife, my daughter, is going to stay here today while we prepare her for the funeral. See, back in them days, they didn't take them to a funeral home. They usually just got them ready and drove them themselves and buried them. That's the way we did it down in the hills. I don't know how you did it up here, but that's the way they did it down there back in the 30s, and So Dad looked at her kind of mean and rotten, and she said, it's another thing. She said, see this double-barrel shotgun pointed at your face? If you don't have electric in that boxcar time that baby's born, she said, I'm coming over to your house, taking my daughter and my grandson or granddaughter, whatever it is, and I'm bringing her over here, and she's staying here until you get some electric in that thing. Do we understand each other? Dad said, yeah, yeah. And she could stay there a day. Dad left. So they had her funeral and had everybody over after they got her ready a couple days. And time went by. Mom had the baby. It was a baby boy, my oldest brother. And it was about, I'd say my brother probably was about a month old. And Dad took Grandma at her word. He did get electric in the boxcar. And they had a light above the crib, my brother's crib. So Mom could walk in and flip the light on and check on him. And Mom said the strangest thing happened one night. She was laying there in bed, and all of a sudden, she heard this cane come across the floor going click, 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 click. She looked up. When she heard the noise, she said she didn't see nothing. There wasn't nothing there. Then she looked into the baby's room where the crib was. They could see straight through it because of the boxcar. And all of a sudden, she said that click, click, she heard and stopped right at the baby crib. And the strangest thing, the light above the crib came on. And she kept looking and didn't see nothing. And she said then the light went off. She didn't hear the click no more. Whatever it was must have stayed there. She couldn't understand, but she went back to sleep. Woke up next day and went into the nursery where they made the little nursery for my brother. And Grandma's brown disappearing cane had reappeared. It was hanging on my brother's crib. Grandma Brown had kept her word. She came back and paid a visit to see my brother because she had to go die before he was born. And she left him a gift, her cane. And Mom says, she swears that story, that's a true story. And Mom was a very religious and believed in God so much that she would not lie about anything. That she caught you lying, you'd get your butt busted too, with a hickory switch. So I took her at her word, and she showed me the cane. She still had it. May God bless y'all. Hope you enjoyed the story. And next week, you'd heard of the haunted factory, the Cobb factory over in Old Monroe. Next week, I wrote about E.J. Cobb, the true story behind the haunted factory. Next week, tune in. Until then, God bless.